Thank you. So again, good morning. Thank you for being here. Welcome to the 14th annual Pinnacle Awards celebration and luncheon. My name is Tim Sink. I'm president of the Chamber, and it's my pleasure to welcome you today as we celebrate our centennial anniversary. The Chamber's been around 100 years. Yeah, thank you. Not supposed to make this about the Chamber today. So for 14 years, the Chamber has recognized outstanding businesses and community leaders. Many of you are here with us today, and we thank you again for all you did to merit your recognition in the past and all you do today to keep the greater Concord community the best in New Hampshire. We do enjoy an abundance of civic engagement in our community, and you really can't thank people enough for the extraordinary efforts they make to build a first-class community like ours. And that's part of why we're here today, to thank many volunteers, people like everyone in this room, really. You serve on Chamber committees, nonprofit boards of directors, you serve as elected leaders, you're at the homeless shelter, food pantries. The list just goes on and on. So we are so much the better a community for it. So in addition to the Pinnacle Awards today, we will also celebrate the graduating class, the 2019 Leadership Greater Concord class. We will, and they're here with us today. We will recognize the recipient of the W. Grant McIntosh Award, and we will honor the Concord Young Professional of the Year. But first, I would like to thank our sponsors who made this luncheon possible. A big shout out to returning sponsors, your generous support. I want to recognize Eastern Bank, who is here with us today. Thank you, Eastern. Eversource is also a sponsor today. Thank you, Eversource. And our third primary sponsor is Sanel Napa. So thank you very much for your support. A few other folks that I'd just like to mention that helped us out. Business NH Magazine is our media sponsor. Dupree Hospitality is the event sponsor. Marshall's Florist provided the flowers today, the centerpieces. Granite State Candy, and also Echo Communications, our print sponsor, and Bar Harbor Bank and Trust for sponsoring the Sippin' Table. So thank you all for your help. We appreciate that. So please enjoy your lunch, and we'll begin the program in a little while. I think we're just about ready to get started with the presentations, so please continue to enjoy your lunch. At this point, I would like to invite to the podium Gary Miller. Gary is a former board chair of the Chamber. He's with Unitil, a supporter of the Leadership Greater Concord program, and he is the chair of the 2019 Leadership Steering Committee. So please welcome Gary Miller to introduce our leadership.
Sorry, Tim, I gotta move this a little bit. Good to see you all again. It's great to be here and a great opportunity to be up here again. I don't know if you remember my time as chair of the board. When it came time for the annual dinner, I kind of scared the bejesus out of Tim because I walked up at that evening and said, "So my presentation, I got a thumb drive?" I shared that with him just moments ago, and you can see the color refreshed in his face. Greater Concord community participated in a visioning process and identified a leadership program as a means to cultivate future leaders. The Leadership Greater Concord program began in 1992 with the first graduating class in 1993. That first class had 19 participants. Anybody here from that class? There's one. Well, Teresa, you're not alone, because since then we've had 560 alum who are actively serving on local nonprofit boards and in various volunteer and elected positions throughout the community, sharing their leadership skills and experience, and we thank you all for doing that. We're fortunate to have many of those alums with us, and we thank you again for that future service beyond today that you're bringing to the community. I'd also like to thank this year's steering committee with whom I've had the privilege of serving for sharing their expertise in developing engaging and thought-provoking agendas to each of the session days, as well as providing counsel to their peers on the steering committee. For me, this has been an exceptional experience and a phenomenal year, and to that committee I say thank you. Before I present the graduates, I'd like to take this opportunity to recognize 3 individuals who have dedicated their time and expertise to this program. Joe Casper, where are you hiding? Sorry, I couldn't recognize you with the radiance surrounding you. Martin Murray. Joe, please stand. Martin Murray, I know where you are. For many who have been through the program, you recognize these individuals. Both Joe and Martin have been very engaged in the communication and media session day for nearly 2 decades. God bless them for being able to put that together and keep it fresh every year. During their tenure, they informed participants of cutting-edge media trends, organized tours at the Concord Monitor, NHPR, MUR, and ConcordTV. It's amazing we have those resources so accessible. New communication tools were also introduced during their tenure. How many remember your first PDA or Palm Pilot? For you younger kids, that was a precursor to the precursor to cell phones. Check it out on the web. You'll find some reference to it. All of that evolved to where we are today, having cell phones and face chat and Snapbook and tweeting and Twitter and all that other stuff. The Communications Day has helped us manage and understand how those resources can be used to help us be successful in our community efforts. Joe and Martin engaged speakers that were well respected within the media industry, and thanks to their efforts, every 4 years the class had the opportunity, although some would call it a circus at times, the opportunity to meet with national candidates running for president. We're very fortunate to have that capability here in Concord. From day one, Joe and Martin have been and remain committed to always delivering and enriching leadership experience. Thank you both, Joe and Martin, for your contributions. That's a good thing. I mentioned there were 3. That's 2 of 3. Third, Gary Foucher. Everybody who's been through the program knows Gary. He unfortunately had another commitment that he couldn't get out of today, but we certainly want to honor his time with the program. He's been with us for 20 years as well. And because of his skill set and the leadership abilities that he brought to the class, he quickly engaged folks in exceptionally trusting and safe experiences that allowed us all to bond very quickly and be able to enjoy the time at the retreat, and provided us a great opportunity for reflection and wrap-up when it came to the end of the session. So please, let's offer him a round of applause, because I'm sure he'll be watching the tape. Now, drum roll, please, if we got somebody that does that. 1 or 2, thank you. Now it's my honor to present this year's class. However, let me guide you. I know you're going to be exuberant about sharing their excitement. Hold off on the applause till we get to the end of the class. I'll let you know when that is. And members of the class, as I list your name, please stand and remain standing till we get to the end of the class. Kimberly Carter. Oh, really? Really? Well, it's consistent. Rose Culver. And Michael, I was only kidding. Michael DeCristofaro. Severio Di Severio. Sarah Dorner. Brian Fontaine. Dan Hall. Erica Janik. Brad Kulaz. Brianna Marceau. Bradford Melson, Barrett Moulton, Elizabeth Malevy, Melissa Pomeroy, Jared Reynolds, Carol Ritchie, Polly Sotmarsh, Heather Shank, Alexandra Sosnowski, Sarah Ward, Karen Wallivar. Our 2019 class of the LGC, congratulations.
Thank you, Gary. And as I mentioned earlier, this program was generously underwritten by Unitil, so we really appreciate that support. So congratulations to the graduates. The Chamber is very proud to have, I think, one of the best, if not the best, leadership development program in the state. Next up, we have the W. Grant McIntosh Award, which is presented to an individual who goes above and beyond the call of volunteerism for the Chamber. The award is given in honor of Grant McIntosh, who maybe some of you in this room had the opportunity to meet. Grant was a longtime supporter of the Chamber, chairman of the board of directors. He served as an interim president during and Cindy Flanagan remembers Grant. He served as interim president during kind of a rocky period before my time. So, but he was a great guy, and so we named this award after him. So he sort of personified what the award is all about. So our recipient this year, you will find, is someone who serves behind the scenes, quietly going about his extensive preparations for one of the Chamber's largest events. It is our Funds for Education Golf Tournament, which has raised a ton of money for educational programs over quite a long time. This individual arrives the night before the tournament, helping things, setting up things, and then he shows up around dawn of the morning of the tournament, remains there all day, and then stays well after the tournament, and he's placing and removing signs at all the greens and tees and recognizing all the sponsors. This is a really, it sounds a lot easier than it is, really. It's no easy task. Sometimes it's done in blistering heat, other times it's done in a downpour, and this individual always does this with a very positive attitude, always asking how we can help out more, always sure that he can take care of it. As if that's not enough, this individual also chaired the tournament one of those same years. In grateful recognition of more than a decade of extraordinary voluntary commitment to the Chamber, please welcome Jeff Trombley from Ledyard Financial. Accept the award. Oh, Jeff. Yeah. Now it is my pleasure to award to the Concord Young Professional of the Year. And this award is given to a Concord Young Professional who demonstrates professional excellence in their field, is committed to the greater Concord community, and is actively engaged in SIPN activities. We also have, I think, the best YPN in the state of New Hampshire, a very active group. This year's recipient has demonstrated a commitment to all categories, and her unending enthusiasm and creativity has helped shape the organization she serves. Our recipient is a student at NHTI, has served on various committees, including the Greater Concord Chamber of Commerce Local Government Affairs Committee, the Friends Program Planning Committee, and the Concord Coalition to End Homelessness Marketing Committee. This past winter, she volunteered at the Cold Weather Shelter, and as a result of volunteering regularly at the Friendly Kitchen with SIPN, she now works there part-time as a coordinator, going above and beyond to serve the cause that she is passionate about. Our recipient has served on SIPN's Ambassador Committee and currently sits on SIPN's Steering Committee as the newly elected marketing coordinator for the organization. She's responsible for her responsibilities include developing an outreach strategy and designing marketing collaterals for upcoming SIPN events and initiatives. Prior to serving on SIPN's leadership committee, she was SIPN's #1 fan, showing up for events of every kind with a positive outlook and a vibrant spirit. She represents her current organization, ServPro, at various chamber events, and when attending our monthly forums, she is never afraid to step up and ask presenters and panelists some of the tough questions. Our recipient is always a shining star in the room, inspiring and encouraging her fellow young professionals and colleagues to get involved in the community. You may have guessed, but on the chance you haven't had the pleasure of meeting or working with her, the 2019 Concord Young Professional of the Year is presented to Connor Spurn. Connor. So, to present the 14th Annual Pinnacle Awards, please welcome our board chair, the boss, Joe Casper, to the podium. All right, Joe.
A couple of years ago, I was out shopping in the mall and happened to stroll by and saw this sport coat. So I brought it, I said, this looks really sharp. So I brought it up to the clerk, and I was checking out, and she says, you know, these are really popular in Florida for cocktail parties. So I had it in the closet, and I thought, okay, I had out a navy blue sport coat and gray pants today, and I thought, you know, it's just not my style. So I brought out this nice raspberry-colored sport coat with my bow tie, and I thought, you know, summer is only 7 days away. Let's bring some sunshine. It's a happy occasion. So here I am with my raspberry-colored sport coat. You know, the tradition of recognizing an individual for excellence is not a new one. And although we honor our Citizen of the Year at our annual meeting each fall, you know, there are hundreds of members who contribute so much to the Chamber in our community throughout the year. It is a distinct honor to recognize and celebrate the accomplishments of our Chamber members and business leaders today. The Pinnacle Awards recognize 3 businesses in the following categories: small business, nonprofit business, business of the year. And additionally, an individual is recognized as Business Leader of the Year for demonstrating significant contributions to the community. To be considered, each nominee must actively support Chamber initiatives and be an outstanding and engaged member of our community. Now, we are truly fortunate to live in a community that is home to so many possible nominees. And our panel of judges would agree, and I would like to recognize and thank this year's selection committee, who were the Pinnacle Award winners last year: Jonathan Hawley of Warren Street Architects, Steve Dupree of Dupree Hospitalities, and Don Badami of In-Town Concord, and Cindy Flanagan of Concord Dance Academy. How about a nice round of applause for these folks? And so now it's my pleasure to present the recipients. The 14th Annual Pinnacle Small Business of the Year is presented to Gibson's Bookstore, represented today by its owner, Michael Herman. Come on up, Michael.
Thank you.
Let me tell you a little bit about why Gibson's was chosen. Gibson's Bookstore was founded back in 1898. I never realized it was founded that long ago. It's the oldest continuously operating retailer in the Concord area. Now, current owner Michael Herman bought the bookstore back in 1994. And in 2013, he moved it to its current location on South Main Street, where it has tripled in size, expanding staff, inventory, and services. Now, in 2013, Gibson's also partnered with True Brew Barista to give South Main Street a homegrown cafe. And he also bought local independent toy store Imagination Village to integrate the best in educational toys and games with their extensive collection of children's books. Now, since its beginning, Gibson's has striven to reflect and enhance its community with the best in education and literary entertainment. Whether you're looking for a classic, a cult favorite, or maybe a book for the beach, Gibsons can find the right book for you because they carry over 40,000 book titles and a wide assortment of toys and games. Gibson's is the region's premier bookstore and gathering place. Gibson's is a community center for lawyers, doctors, and other professionals, as well as for young families, retirees, and nature-loving tourists. Gibson's Bookstore has an ambitious schedule of author events, hosting more than 100 events each year, featuring national superstars like Eric Larson, Jodi Picoult, and Jonathan Franzen, and local talents like Cy Montgomery and David Elliott. You know, Gibson's is active in the community, having worked with hundreds of schools, nonprofits, and other organizations over the years to help serve their mission with book sales and other support, including the Chamber's Capital Area Student Leadership Program. You may have noticed one of Gibson's creative themed book displays, supporting local events and fundraising in the city. And Gibson's also hosts a monthly book club, bringing together avid readers from the community to discuss the book of the month, as well as they host monthly readings and open mic events with the Poetry Society of New Hampshire, and they partner with the Concord Library on Concord Reads, a community-wide reading program. Did you know that Gibson's employs a unique set of individuals on their staff? On staff right now, they have a 5-time Jeopardy champion, and of course Jeopardy's been in the news lately, a food writer, several people active in the theater, a professional photographer, and a roller derby skater. Doesn't surprise me, my daughter's a roller derby skater. You know, they operate a staff-run podcast called The Laydown, which features book-related topics such as what they're currently reading, upcoming releases they're excited for, and the hottest book news of the month. Additionally, Gibson's is the largest independent bookstore in northern New England. And in 2014, Gibson's was awarded the coveted Independent Spirit Award, given each year by the Book Publishers Reps of New England to a bookstore that best exemplifies the spirit of the independent bookstore. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to award Gibson's Bookstore with the Pinnacle Small Business of the Year Award, and accepting on behalf of Gibson's Bookstore is Michael Herman. Michael?
Thank you. Wow, that's great. Thank you. I don't know quite how to improve on that, but I have some prepared remarks, so you're going to have to hear them anyway. It's an honor to receive this award. I'd like to thank the Chamber and the committee that chose Gibson's as Small Business of the Year. It's an honor to be associated with the Chamber in the first place. It's what a fantastic group of smart and energetic people. Of course, it's a tremendous honor to share the spotlight with Rosemary from Catch, our community partners at CCTV and Mainstay Technologies. My wife, Becky, should I say long-suffering here, is here to help me celebrate this award. Everyone else on our team is back at the bookstore convincing their family members that they need more books. So, Gibson's is an integral part of downtown Concord and its history. As Joe mentioned, it's founded in 1898. It's only been through 5 sets of owners in all that time. If you do a deep dive through the store's Facebook page, you can find a picture from 2012 of me, Bruce Luno, and Jeff Haight, 3 Gibson's owners, stretching back to the 1950s and up to today. The original Mr. Gibson is no longer with us, but his granddaughter visits once every year or two from California. She's glad we kept the name, and so am I. I got my job through the New York Times. In the spring of 1994, I was reading the paper in a cramped New York City apartment, dreaming of getting out of the city. And just by chance, I found a 1-inch square ad promising New England businesses for sale. The business broker interviewed me a few times and then said, well, you aren't really qualified for most of our listings, but I have a couple of things for you to look at. One of them was Gibson's, which at the time was in the spot Bread and Chocolate is in now. It was one of several bookstores in town. There was Gibson's, there was the Apple Tree, a couple of Bookland locations, there was Storytellers, the children's bookstore. It seems like a bookish town, I thought, and probably pretty insulated from big box competition. Yeah, I was younger and somewhat more naive at the time. So I bought the store and I started growing it, and just as we were expanding the first time into the old Mickey Fens, which Bannigan's was vacating, Borders moved in at Fort Eddy. It was 1999. Amazon started their quest for world domination right around that time, so thus began a bit of a tough stretch. I won't bore you with the details of that. So I stuck around, and when Borders went under in 2011, we started planning a new and much larger store.
It didn't really make much business sense to do this, but I had a lot of pent-up frustration to work out and a few good ideas, and I was lucky enough to have surrounded myself with truly talented people. Our expansion couldn't have happened without the vision and commitment of Steve Dupree, who with John Trolian was working on transforming the entire south end of Main Street. Those guys made it possible, and Steve and his team continue to do so. Our friends at Merrimack County Savings Bank gave us essential financial support, and I also need to thank Jim Raymond at Upton and Hatfield, and Muriel Shady and Ashley Major at Nathan Wexler for making me look smart before and after we expanded in 2013 into the location we now enjoy. These are all wonderful and professional people. I'm lucky to know them and to have relied on them for decades now. I'd also like to mention Steph and Rob at True Brew, who every day have to perform the magic trick of being 2 places at once and who keep me caffeinated and alert. We should thank our institutional partners. It takes a village to make a bookstore work. Even as we speak, Gibson's is working with the Capitol Center and NHPR to bring you a major literary event in the fall, October 2nd. It's going to be announced on next Tuesday. Watch out for it. We love to work with both of them, with Red River Theaters, in town Concord, Concord School District, State of New Hampshire, Public Library, and the Friends of the Library. They're all important to our continuing success. We need to thank our corporate partners who make bulk purchases. Great discounts. See me after the ceremony. We also need to thank the City of Concord, Mayor Jim Belay, Thomas Spell, and the City Council for their tireless advocacy in bringing us a new and beautiful Main Street to showcase all downtown businesses and to drive the local economy. It's a great downtown to be part of. Right now I'm going to name our team, who's there selling books to your families, don't forget. Our buyers, John and Heather, operations manager Paul, lead bookseller Hillary, events coordinator Elizabeth, bookkeeper Nellie, social media guru Ryan, inventory specialist Carolyn, frontline booksellers Sandy, Jim, Kelso, Stacy, Sam, Laura, Danny, Sherry, Jim, Janine, and Wendy. And all the hundreds, maybe thousands of people who've worked at Gibson's since it was founded in 1898. Booksellers are better than any algorithm. Come talk to us about the books you dream about reading, and we'll help you find them. But most of all, we need to thank the readers of Concord. I was right in 1994. This is a bookish town, full of book lovers and supporters of independent retail and the local economy. Without you, we're nothing. Thank you for this honor and for supporting us. I've been at this a quarter century, and yet in many ways, I feel like we're just beginning. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Joe.
The 14th Annual Pinnacle Business of the Year is presented to Mainstay Technologies, represented today by the company's CEO and founder, Ryan Barton. Ryan, come on up. A little bit about Mainstay. Mainstay Technologies began in 2004 as Barton Computer Consulting. Ryan Barton had experience, skills, and a green Ford Explorer back then, but what he had was a vision. He founded the company out of his Ford Explorer with the goal of meeting the growing IT needs of small businesses in central New Hampshire. And since that time, Mainstay has grown to a team of over 40 individuals across 2 offices in Belmont and Manchester who subscribe to the company's commitment to making a positive impact with all the clients while maintaining a zero-debt financial strategy. Today, Mainstay provides information technology and cybersecurity services to businesses in the greater Concord area, as well as across New England. The crew at Mainstay takes the time to understand every nuance about the needs, processes, culture, and budget pressures of each new client partner so they can build IT and security plans as unique as each company they work with. Wrangling technology is a business necessity that can be difficult to understand and even more challenging to execute. Mainstay's goal is to remove worry around their clients' technology and system security so business owners can focus on running and growing their business, making our community stronger and safer. Mainstay's mission is to give more than they get, with the vision of positively impacting every life they touch, whether in the office or off the clock. Core values include integrity, above all else, team-driven approach, professionalism, excellence, forward-thinking holistic approaches to business technology, and a passion for all that they do. They set out to give more than they get because they recognize the honor that it is to be trusted with the technology that drives a business, which is so critical in today's world. And as a result of their trend-setting benefit package and company culture, Mainstay maintains a low turnover of their employees. Mainstay is devoted to companies to understand technology and security, and they work with New Hampshire Manufacturing Extension Partnership to help manufacturing companies understand crucial compliance requirements and upcoming deadlines from the United States Department of Defense. Mainstay employees and leadership regularly offer advice and information throughout news articles, blog posts, professional development trainings, and presentations about IT, cybersecurity, and through community groups like the Chamber of Commerce. Mainstay strives to be a good steward of the national beauty of New Hampshire and takes steps to minimize the company's impact on the environment, including such things as green building practices, energy-saving policies for their IT equipment, encouragement of telecommuting and remote work. The Belmont office building is powered completely by 308 solar panels. That's a lot of panels. Both the Manchester and Belmont offices are nearly paperless, and Mainstay is making plans to implement carbon offsetting projects to counterbalance the environmental impact of driving. Truly a green company. Mainstay Technologies has received numerous awards and recognitions, including Catch Rising Star Award, multiple New Hampshire Business Review Best of Business Awards, Business New Hampshire Magazine's Best Company to Work For, New Hampshire Better Business Bureau Torch Award for Marketplace Ethics, the Belknap Economic Development Council's Corporate Soul Award, New Hampshire Business Review Business Excellence Award, the Lakes Region Chamber of Commerce Golden Hammer Award, Business New Hampshire Magazine's Business of the Year, and Inc.'s 5,000th list of fastest growing companies of small businesses. Mainstay Technology exemplifies the type of business that should be recognized for its accomplishment and everyday efforts to help community organizations and businesses work safely and efficiently. Mainstay inherently integrates the values of authenticity, compassion, and skill in everything that they do. It is my pleasure to present Mainstay Technologies with the Pinnacle Business of the Year Award, and accepting on behalf of Mainstay Technologies, Ryan Barton. Ryan, congratulations. Well deserved.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm incredibly honored to stand here and just with a heart filled with such gratitude. And I want to really thank three groups in particular. First, I want to thank the Mainstay team, some of whom are here today, for really taking the vision of Mainstay and working it out every day and making it better and go farther than I could have ever dreamed when I was in that two-door Ford Explorer way back in the day, and who lives this out and grinds this out every day with such passion and such commitment to the ethics and the mission of Mainstay. That is just such a pleasure to work with. So thank you, team. That's what Mainstay is all about. I also want to thank our, thank you. And I also want to thank our clients. We have the unbelievable honor of getting to partner with businesses throughout New Hampshire and organizations throughout New Hampshire and carry such a big responsibility when we're doing information security and we're carrying IT responsibilities. And then we get to learn from these businesses. When you look at the list of winners, of past winners of this, it is so honoring to be on that list now, and so honoring to have so many clients that we get to work with that are, like, we get to work with the teams at Nathan Wexler, at Catch, at Orrin Reno, at Cobb Hill Construction, at Nobis Engineering. We get to learn from them. We get to partner with them and work with those teams every day and learn from them. And so to our clients who teach us, who partner with us, who we get to work with every day, thank you. That is what Mainstay is about. And finally, I want to thank the Chamber, and the Chamber is a representative of the broader New Hampshire business community. You know, I knew very, very little 15 years ago about how to run a business. Very, very little. And it has been an unbelievable journey of learning from and being inspired by and encouraged by the business leaders and the business community in this state. And so thank you to everyone at the Chamber. Thank you to everybody who has taken my lunch request and shared books and shared recommendations that we get to buy at Gibson's, which is such a wonderful place. And I have a lunch meeting with a business leader at Gibson's at 2 o'clock. So, and we have taken the time to pour into us, to encourage us, and then to honor. I mean, I can't believe that we get to win and be honored by an award like this. And I think that the New Hampshire business community is an amazing place to work. It's an amazing place to live. It's an amazing place to work. And Mainstay was founded with this idea that it was not founded solely for the purpose of making money, that Mainstay was founded for this idea that business is this engine that creates value, and that we should be able to create value for everybody that we come in contact with. And I think that it's how we each define success that drives so much of our lives. And it's as we define and measure that success of creating value for our clients, creating value for our team, creating value for our communities, and strengthening them, that the New Hampshire community has so resonated with that, so supported that. There are leaders here from NHTI who graduate students and take our feedback, and we hire so many out of that program. There's so many business leaders who've poured in and helped us to become a better company, that in the years and decades ahead, I just look forward to being worthy of this honor, working hard every day to be more and more worthy of this honor, and to continue to strengthen this amazing, amazing community and state that we get to be a part of. So thank you, one and all. It is a real honor. Thank you. Wonderful.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. And thank you for not handing this to me at the end. The very first award I won was from the Lakes Region Chamber, and I dropped and broke it publicly after receiving it. So thank you for waiting until the end.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Ryan. Well-deserved award. So the 14th Annual Pinnacle Nonprofit Business of the Year is presented to Concord Community TV, represented today by Doris Ballard, its Executive Director. Concord Community TV is also known as Concord TV, is a nonprofit organization incorporated back in 1998 to manage Concord's Community Television Center and its 3 channels: Channel 6, Education, Channel 17, Government, and Channel 22, Public Access. The mission of Concord TV is to provide residents, city government, and educational and nonprofit organizations of Concord and the surrounding area with the opportunity, facilities, and access to cable television. This year, Concord TV celebrates 20 years of delivering service to the greater Concord community, which will officially be observed tomorrow, June 7th. So happy anniversary to Concord TV. Concord TV has grown from a small public access station with just 3 channels to an active community resource. Concord TV offers adult education classes in television production, provides media training to teachers, presents workshops for nonprofit groups with limited resources looking to share their messages with the public, and host video camps during the summer, as well as school vacations, training youth in film, television, and media literacy. Things have changed for television and broadcast over the course of the last few decades. However, it's Concord TV's mission has not changed since its inception. Concord TV continues to be devoted to providing the public with access to the resources, training, and transmission that enables them to tell and share their own stories and those of a vibrant community. What has changed is how Concord TV has worked diligently to adapt at every turn, recognizing and supporting the way public creates and chooses to receive its content. And when the internet and social media erupted as a means of communication, Concord TV was poised to help individuals, nonprofits, and small businesses maneuver their way through the new media, facing the needs of the future. Concord TV has adapted and innovated, and now streaming their channels online, making programs available on demand, creating videos on YouTube and Facebook channels. You guys are really up to speed here. and recording podcasts on various topics made by local producers and nonprofit groups. They produce an annual program, Concord On Air, giving focus to the many Concord area stakeholders and industry leaders in both the for-profit and not-for-profit arena. And last year, Concord TV hosted a sold-out youth film festival at Red River Theater, sponsoring the creativity of our kids. And I'm sure many of you here today have attended Concord TV's annual fundraiser, the Easter Extravaganza, where nonprofit organizations and businesses come together to create Easter baskets to support Concord TV. You know, Concord TV is tasked with documenting community milestones, such as this week's New Hampshire State House Bicentennial, and many of the Chamber's events and educational forums. They film city meetings, school events, sport matches, and arts events, archiving and preserving thousands of hours of historical content for future generations to come. They provide fair and open coverage of major elections. Concord TV is always reaching out to segments of the community who need their voices heard, and they televise the annual auction for the Boys and Girls Club of Central New Hampshire. Concord TV is an organization focused on supporting and sharing the stories of Concord, its citizens, and their service to the community, and demonstrates why they have been selected as the Pinnacle Nonprofit Business of the Year. Accepting on behalf of Concord TV is its executive director and my longtime friend, Doris Ballard.
Thank you very much. Thank you. On behalf of the Concord TV board and staff, I thank the Chamber of Commerce and those who made this possible in our selection. I would like to, it's an amazing honor, and I would like to congratulate the other wonderful recipients. Well deserved to all of you. I must say, it's really humbling and satisfying for our nonprofit to be recognized in this way. I've had the honor of being a part of Concord TV since 2001, when I was invited to be on Lori Carey, Marshall's Flowers, and her show, Tell It Like It Is Small Business, which was produced by the Sokol family, Lucilla Sokol. They interviewed me about what it took to become a business person. When I left there, I told my husband, you can take care of all the business side. I want to be part of that. Didn't happen quite that way, but feels like it today. So I rallied my husband, my daughter, her then boyfriend, and we started a show called Kids Speak New Hampshire. Then we interviewed kids who did great things in the community, and that was about 19 years ago. I don't know where those kids are today, but I would love to meet them because we have some excellent video of those shows right now. So what I am always amazed of over the years since I've been at Concord TV is the same look that people have when I left Concord TV that day, and it was much smaller at that time. That, wow, what a great resource. Why do people don't know about this? So I knew then that I was going to do whatever I could to help market this organization, and I'm proud to have been a part of all the board members and the staff and the executive directors who have been a part of that journey with me. And I can't tell you how much that means to all of us. My staff is here. You see them bebopping around town. Mike O'Meara, Matt Arsenault, Josh Hardy. They're running around this week with the bicentennial with the state, getting video. These are all going to be captured and be historical memories for years to come. So anyway, I am pleased to say that all those who've been involved since the beginning have had a hand in transitioning and adapting along the way. Adapting is the big word of the day. Years ago, it was all about our 3 channels. Now it's so much more. We're more relevant today than ever before, and I'm very proud to be a part of that happening with thousands of producers and volunteers that have been a part of it and continue to be a part of it. Yes, we do provide the tools and the transmission and the training to help the public tell their stories. And you have no idea, unless you're involved with Concord TV, just how many of those stories we've told over the years and continue to do so. Concord TV will be starting its 21st year on July 1st. And I wonder often what will become of our nonprofit in the next 20 years. I'm really confident that our organization, thanks to the support that we have of our partners, the City of Concord, the Concord School District, and everyone who steps foot in our doors over the years and continues to do that. It's all due to the current and future leadership of our talented staff. Having said that, I want you to be among the first to know in this room that there'll be a big announcement made in my world in the next few days. Because at the end of the year, I will be leaving ConcordTV, but our organization will be in good hands. Because on behalf of the Board of Directors, I am thrilled to announce that Josh Hardy will become the next Executive Director of ConcordTV. So let this new transition begin, and let's hear from Josh right now. This will take effect Monday, June 10th. Josh.
So I think this has to be a first in Pinnacle Award history that this has happened, probably, I would say. And Doris, did you go off script? Like you said you weren't gonna? You did, I figured. But I'm honored to be standing up here, and am so thankful to Doris Ballard for all of your support as a mentor in my 7+ years at ConcordTV. How about a round of applause for Doris and everything she's done? I don't think words can express enough what Doris Ballard has done for ConcordTV and for the Concord community. But I'm really excited to be taking on the role as Executive Director of ConcordTV. It's kind of funny the way that kind of sits in now, actually having said that out loud. But really excited for the next 20 years that we're going to have here at ConcordTV. And I wanted to share with you all just a couple of kind of broad goals and priorities that we have for the near future with me as Executive Director. So we're going to look to provide more media services to community members. That means more classes, more workshops, more collaborative opportunities. We already do a great job with that, but I want us to do even more, and we will. Like any nonprofit, we want to increase our volunteer network. I know all nonprofits here can relate to that, but in order for us to do more, provide more coverage and the services that were described earlier, we need help. We need volunteers, whether they be seniors or high school students, so that is a major priority for us. I'm excited to explore new collaboration ideas with groups that we may not have worked with before, or maybe we did in the past. I'm totally open to any of those collaboration ideas, as well as continuing our ongoing community partnerships that we already have. And finally, kind of our biggest challenge, I think, is continuing to improve and upgrade our equipment to keep up with evolving technology, but to do so in a way that doesn't alienate people who may not be as tech savvy. Those of you in the room, you don't have to acknowledge it, but some aren't as tech savvy. We're not out to try to alienate those people. So to have the technology available and accessible for everybody who lives in Concord. Going forward, we have a clear vision, clear direction, and as Concord continues to thrive and grow, so too will ConcordTV. Thank you. You don't want to hold it?
No, you hold it.
Thanks. Yeah.
One more.
We have one more award to present. Rosemary Hurd has dramatically influenced the housing market in New Hampshire and has a direct impact on the availability of affordable housing in the greater Concord area. Rosemary is a graduate of the Concord Municipal School of Art and Design in Cork, Ireland. Now, Rosemary began her professional career as a draftsman with an architect, Henry Wallace of Killarney, County Kerry, Ireland. She has held series of progressively responsible leadership positions on both sides of the pond, and later attended the Harvard Kennedy School, where she was recognized with achieving excellence in community development back in 2013. Today, as president and CEO of Catch Neighborhood Housing, She is responsible for the overall operation, administration, and management of the organization, a position she has held since 2006. She brings to Catch more than 25 years of private and public sector experience in the real estate industry. She was previously Senior Vice President of Asset Management with Mass Development, prior to which she spent 12 years working for the Amiskay Company. Catch Neighborhood Housing is a community-based nonprofit organization offering a full spectrum of housing and education services here in Merrimack County. Catch meets the needs of the communities it serves by constructing new affordable housing units and revitalizing existing housing in an area where affordable rental options are limited. By their mission is to strengthen communities by creating opportunities for affordable, quality housing for people who otherwise are not being served. You know, Catch proudly owns and manages 325 quality, affordable rental apartments across Merrimack County that over 600 children, adults, and seniors call home, including the recent development of the Franklin Light and Power Mill in downtown Franklin. And additionally, the historic Endicott Hotel, which is right on our downtown Main Street, offers 24 convenient market-rate apartments right here in downtown Concord. Through her work at Catch Neighborhood Housing, Rosemary is devoted to the vision of creating communities where every person is confident of a home. Whether it is personally addressing the concern of a resident, generously thanking a donor, or mentoring a staff member, Rosemary's ability to connect to everyone she shines through. She recognized that it's the community relationships that achieve Catch's goal to not only provide housing, but also a quality of life. And it's this philosophy that has helped Catch expand its housing portfolio by not 20%, not 30%, but 296%, almost tripling its ability to provide safe, affordable housing for those whom Catch Services attains. Now, since Rosemary started working with Catch in 2006, its net assets have grown from just $3 million to over $25 million today, and its staff has expanded from 6 to over 30 employees. Through a leadership program offered by Neighborhood Works America and Harvard Kennedy School, in 2013, Rosemary spearheaded the inception and growth of Alliance Asset Management. Alliance Asset is a not-for-profit property and asset management company that now manages all of Catch's properties, while also providing a source of sustainable funding for the organization. Alliance Asset Management also provides that service for others throughout New Hampshire and through Maine. Rosemary also co-led the creation of a member organization called Home Team, which with Neighborhood Works of Southern New Hampshire and Lakes Region Community Developers, which now provides home buyer education and financial education services. Home Team serves the entirety of Merrimack, Hillsborough, Belknap, and Rockingham counties, pretty much the whole southern part of the state, providing first-time homebuyer education seminars, financial fitness courses, and mortgage counseling to over 68% of the state's population. Rosemary contributes to the community. Her contributions go beyond leading Catch. She has served on the Chamber's Board of Directors, is currently chair of the Municipal Housing Commission for the City of Concord, serves on the Public Policy Committee for the National Neighbor Works Association, is a steering committee member for the City of Concord's plan to end homelessness, and joined Concord Hospital's Board of Trustees in 2019. As a content expert, Rosemary informs nonprofits on the magnitude of reliable housing as a part of the overall needs of residents in the greater Concord area. Rosemary is an exemplary leader, and her influence over Catch is a testament to her ability to take risks, innovate, and persevere. It is my honor to present the Pinnacle Business Leader of the Year to Rosemary Hurd. Rosemary?
Thank you. I don't have any tissues up here, so please sit down. I am so honored to be standing up here today, particularly in a room full of leaders who themselves are incredible and should be standing up here as well. So I normally get up here and talk about housing, but I'm going to get up here and talk about dancing, Who out here dances? Hands up. Oh boy, you're a boring group. Of the dancers here, who dances better if you have a really good partner? Right? Reasonable assumption? Let's use golf or some other metaphor. Well, I happen to love to dance, and I'm standing up here because I have had 13 years of an incredible group of fellow dancers. Our staff, our board, our committee members, and I'd like all of you to stand up in here today if you're either on our staff, a current board member, past board member, committee member, or if you run an organization that supported Catch. So please stand. That's an impressive group. I certainly wouldn't be standing up here without the support of all of you, our donors and our staff. It has been an incredible 13 years. This year is our 30th birthday, and it pains me to tell you I've been here almost half of Catch's lifetime, which is really incredible. When I was down in Massachusetts and my husband and I decided to move to New Hampshire, Bill Norton, who may be known to many of you, called me, and I had hired Bill as a real estate broker when my old company purchased Woodbury Court down in Bedford. And he kept calling me and saying, this job is in Concord, you gotta apply, you gotta apply. And I had just finished working on the redevelopment of 100 Cambridge Street in Boston. It was a huge project. I was absolutely burned out. I was sick and tired of real estate development. And he called every single day. And my computer was in a storage unit. I couldn't care less, frankly, if I'd ever seen it again. And finally I said, okay, I'll shut him up. I'll put my resume in. I won't get the job. Bill will be happy, and I'll just continue on shingling my house. And here I am. And it has been an incredible privilege to lead this organization. And I want to talk about that for a second, this leadership notion. I do not see myself as a leader. I see myself as a partner to my staff every day. I see myself as a partner to the community in anticipating the needs of the community. And to go back to that dancing metaphor for a second, it's important as leaders to get off the dance floor and to really look at your organization and how it dovetails into the community and how can we better serve the community and the people that our organizations serve. And I don't care if you're for-profit or not-for-profit, that mechanism works every time. So I do spend some time on the balcony, and I promise my staff that I'm not going to come up with another new business or another new idea. And I hate to say, but I do tell white lies sometimes. And so it's just been an amazing, incredible honor. And thank you to my fellow peers for that honor, and to the Chamber for taking the time to recognize all of these incredible recipients every year. It's important that we get to hear what people are doing in the community, and sometimes we get so busy that we forget. So you're aware of Catch and our investment in the community. And so I wanted to leave you with a thought today about housing. And this is it's an excerpt from an op-ed piece that was in the Idaho Press on May 24th. And it was written by Gary Haynes, and it was shared with me by one of my peers from Littleton, a head up in Littleton. And this is just one piece of this op-ed, but it really resonated with me, and I hope it does with you as well. So it says, first, there was no shelter for homeless people. I wasn't homeless, so I didn't speak up except to complain because they weren't invisible. Next, seniors and people with disabilities on fixed incomes could no longer afford their housing. I was neither, so I didn't speak up except to advise them to get a job or pick up and move on. Service workers, even those with 2 jobs, couldn't afford simple apartments. I wasn't a service worker, so I didn't speak up except to oppose the planned affordable development in my neighborhood. Then housing was too expensive for young professionals, teachers, public safety workers, and municipal employees. I wasn't one, so I didn't speak up except to dismiss their appeals for salary increases and condemn the sluggish traffic as they commuted farther to housing they could afford. But then an affordable home got to be out of reach for my young adult children, my aging parents, and even me. Now there's no one to speak for us. We need to keep that in the back of our heads every single day. And this reminds me, I don't know if any of you have had the honor of walking through the Holocaust Museum in Boston Memorial. There's a piece that's similar to this as you exit. But we need to keep in mind that we are a community, and communities organically grow with a range of housing options for everybody, not just at the bottom or at the top, but everything in between. So I would, as you go about your daily lives, keep this in mind. We're truly, truly grateful for our partnership with the City of Concord, for example, the City of Franklin, Town of Bow, and other locations where we've developed housing. And we would like to continue to do as much as we can for other people. We are going into a period in New Hampshire, an aging period. At least half of us in this room are going to fall into that bracket in 10 years. And it's going to present a huge challenge, not only to this state, but some of the other aging states. So even though this op-ed piece was written about Idaho, it can apply to any state right now. Housing has become a dirty word, and it should not be. It's a roof over people's heads and food on your table, and not having to choose between meds and housing. You know, some of the horror stories I hear are frightening about seniors using cat food as pate. That should not happen. We should not be okay with living in a community or communities. I'm not suggesting that that's just Concord. So thank you for all of your support for this incredible honor. Keep supporting affordable housing and the nonprofits that do so much for people in this arena. Thank you.
Well, that concludes the Pinnacle Award presentations. I'm going to ask, as we adjourn, will all the Pinnacle Award winners just stay for a photo? We appreciate that very much. Thank you again to all our sponsors, Eversource, Eastern Bank, Sanel Napa, and all our sponsors. And thank you all for coming out and supporting this event. We really appreciate it. Have a great day.
Letting me do that.